김재우의 구동사 100.
Day 1. Add up.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I think the server added up our bill wrong. We only had 2 drinks, not 3.
I tutor kids in math on the side. It's not a lot of money, but it adds up over time.
It might not seem like much, but 10 minutes of practice every day really adds up.
You told me you were at home, but my friend mentioned seeing you at a bar. Something doesn't add up. Add up.
요약.
1.
Let's add up these numbers now. What's 5 plus 3?
2. Just 100,000 won a month will add up to almost 5 million won in 4 years. 3.
There's something about his story that doesn't add up. He must be telling a lie.
Small talk. 1.
I spend around $100 a month on coffee. It's my guilty pleasure.
$100 a month will add up to $6,000 in 5 years. Why don't you make coffee at home? It isn't that hard. 2.
Can you add up the sales figures from last quarter and compare them to our targets?
Sure thing. I'll do the math and have a detailed report ready by this afternoon. 3. Brian is so perfect. He wants to get married really soon. We're going to meet offline next month.
So he's a doctor, a pilot, and he looks like a model, yet he hasn't shown you a photo? This doesn't add up, Gina.
Cases in point.
Okay, so this 30-minute walk every day might not seem like much of a workout, but trust me, it really adds up. You're not just burning calories, you're taking care of your cardio and mental health. Plus, it's a chill way to keep fit without hitting the gym hardcore. So yeah, each walk might feel like a small step, but over time, you're making a huge difference for your health.
Day 2. Blow away.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I was worried that sidewalks would be slippery after the heavy snow last night, but the wind was so strong that it blew the snow away.
Sometimes I'm too lazy to wipe down my keyboard. I just use compressed air to blow the dust away.
Be careful, the wind is pretty strong out there. You might get blown away.
When I first saw their new tablet, I was blown away. It was completely different from the old models.
Wow, your presentation was so informative. You really blew me away.
Blow away.
요약.
1. Windy weather is unpleasant, but at least it blows away all the microdust.
My hat blew away in the strong wind.
2. My little brother came back from a 3-month intensive English boot camp in Canada, and I was really blown away by his English. Small talk. 1.
A typhoon hit the Florida coast last week. It was all over the news.
Apparently, the wind was so strong that it even blew away cars. 2.
I heard you went to the sneak preview of Dune Part 2. How was it?
I'm sure the movie is going to be a huge hit. I was absolutely blown away by the main actor's performance. 3.
Hey, did you know that Kim Jong-kook can speak really good English? I was completely blown away when I saw him chatting with foreigners on Running Man.
No way. Really? That's impressive. I wouldn't have expected that. It's still rare for celebrities to speak English comfortably. Cases in point.
Wow, this is why I never read the newspaper. It's only bad news on every page. Now it's talking about inflation again.
Yeah, inflation is a hot topic. Haven't you noticed how high the prices have gotten at restaurants? I'm blown away every time I look at a menu. You can't eat for less than 15,000 won these days.
That's true. But I still know a place where you can eat a full set for 10,000 won. I'll take you there sometime.
Day 3. Breakdown.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
The computer finally broke down after using it daily for years.
My company has not been on good terms with the employee union for months. It was inevitable that the negotiation over working hours broke down.
When the doctor said I could never play professionally again, I broke down.
Let me break down the schedule.
I think you lost me with the figures on slide 3. Would you mind going back and breaking those down?
Did you know that cigarette butts take between 18 months and 10 years to break down? Breakdown.
요약.
1. Hey, Mike, you missed the meeting. What happened?
My car broke down on the highway.
2. We were talking again about getting engaged, but those talks always break down once money comes up. 3. After weeks of constant pressure at work, I finally broke down and cried in my office. 4.
In order to understand the sentence better, I broke it down into parts and looked at the phrases one by one.
5. Protein from meat requires more energy for your body to break down than simple carbohydrates, like rice. Small talk. 1.
I'm here to check out some MacBooks. My old computer finally broke down after using it through college and grad school, so I need something right away.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure we can find you a replacement that meets your needs. What do you mainly use a computer for now? 2.
I'm sorry to bring it up, but how did you react when your doctor said it was cancer?
I just broke down completely and couldn't even get words out. It actually took me several days to process the news. 3.
I've lived in Korea for 10 years, but I still don't understand how apartment lotteries work. Could you break it down for me?
Okay, this is how it works. You're supposed to open a special account for that. Put some money into it each month. The longer you have it open, and the more money you put in, the better your chances get. Cases in point.
Do you need a straw for your iced coffee? Just a moment. I'll wash one.
Don't you just have some plastic ones lying around from old delivery orders? I'm not picky.
Sorry, I don't use plastic straws anymore. They take forever to break down once they're thrown away. Major coffee chains switched over to paper straws long ago, and I felt like I had to follow suit.
Okay, I see. I'm happy to use your metal straw. There is something about the paper straws that Starbucks has been using that make me uncomfortable, to be honest.
Is it because they get soggy after a while? I always end up rushing to finish my drink before that happens.
Yeah, and I bet they like that. They're all about customer turnover. Day 4. Break up.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Is it true you broke up with Susie?
She broke up with me, actually.
The clouds gradually broke up and the sun got brighter.
First, use 2 forks to break up the chicken into bite-sized pieces, then mix it into the salad.
Hey, my signal is breaking up down here. I'm in a nightclub. Can I call you back later? Break up.
요약.
1.
People break up every day. Don't take it so hard. I think we'll both be better off.
2. Okay, class, I need you to break up into groups of 3.
My dad says Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles. He still hasn't gotten over it.
I like to break up my day with various kinds of tasks, so my workflow never gets stale. 3.
You are breaking up. Are you in an elevator?
Small talk. 1.
I made my first YouTube video. Check it out.
It's 2 hours long. No one is gonna watch that. You need to break it up into smaller clips. 2.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Your signal keeps breaking up.
Oh, I'm driving through a tunnel. Give me a sec. 3.
Yeah, I heard Mina is going solo, so it's her fault the band is breaking up. So selfish.
That's not true. Don't talk about Mina like that. She's just doing one concert. Cases in point. My American friend, Jackie, lived in Seoul for the past year. Not only did she fall in love with the city, but also with a charming Korean boyfriend named Minho. However, their relationship eventually got rocky, and they recently broke up. Jackie was suddenly confused about her life abroad. She told me, now that Minho and I broke up, I don't have any reason to stay in Seoul. I tried to encourage her to stick it out longer, but she decided it was too difficult to live in a city that reminded her of her ex everywhere she looked. Day 5. Brush up on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I am traveling to Paris next month, so I think I need to brush up on my French.
I'd like us to review what we learned last class. Versus, I'd like us to brush up on what we learned last semester.
I've got to make a cake. I'm going to read a cookbook so that I can brush up on my baking skills.
Brush up on.
요약.
This book is not a one-and-done read. You should brush up on these phrasal verbs from time to time in order to feel confident using them in real-life situations. So, how's retired life treating you? Are you bored yet?
Not at all. I've been brushing up on my guitar playing. I forgot how much I loved playing. Small talk. 1.
I'm excited to visit Gyeongbokgung Palace tomorrow.
Me too. I want to brush up on my Korean history before we go, so I can better appreciate what I'm seeing while we're there. 2.
So, Janet, you're going to present our proposal at the meeting tomorrow, right?
Right. I've been brushing up on my presentation skills this week by practicing in the mirror at home. 3.
I was bragging about how good my homemade jjajangmyeon is to my friends, and they invited themselves over for lunch this Saturday. I need to brush up on my cooking skills because I haven't made it in over 10 years.
Do you have room for one more? I'd like to try it too. Cases in point.
After dating my high school girlfriend for 10 years, we recently broke up. It took some time, but my best friend finally convinced me to start dating again. Tonight, I'm going out with some friends to do what single people do, and I'm feeling nervous about it. This is the first time I've been single in my entire adult life. I have no idea how this process works. All I could think to do was brush up on some pickup lines like, "Do you have a map? Because I just got lost in your eyes." I hope it works.
Day 6. Care for.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Would you care for some coffee or tea?
I'm afraid Mr. Jones is still in a meeting, and it may take a while before he's available. Would you care for something to drink while you wait?
I don't really care for cilantro. Let's get jampong for dinner when your parents come over.
You know my dad doesn't care much for spicy food.
Could you care for my plants while I'm on vacation?
You need to care for your mental health, Sally. Care for.
요약.
1.
Would you care for a seat cushion? I know that chair can be a little uncomfortable.
Would you care for a walk after dinner? 2.
Can I offer you a mint or some chocolate?
No thanks. I don't care much for sweets.
I don't really care for scary movies.
3. I recently started caring for my elderly parents, and it's made me really grateful for how much they sacrificed to raise me. Small talk. 1.
Would you like to try some fish? I saw someone else eating it, and it looked good.
Actually, he doesn't care for seafood. I heard the bulgogi is really good here. Why don't we try that? 2. Wow, I like what you've got going on here. I wish I could grow plants on my balcony like you. Caring for plants is easier than it looks, actually. All you have to do is water them when the soil is dry. 3.
If you're having Sam and Frank over to watch the baseball game, why don't you include Peter as well? I thought the Mets were his team.
I can't really have those guys all together. They get so into sports that things sometimes get heated. Besides, Sam and Frank are from the South, and Southerners don't care for New Yorkers, even in the best of times. Cases in point. My stomach was feeling a little bloated after breakfast this morning. My friend recommended this clinic at Kukiwon intersection. So when I got there, there were a ton of people in line. I had to wait about an hour, which is difficult to say the least when you're suffering from severe stomach pain. Overall, the clinic was professional enough, I would say. They were also kind of impersonal, though. I didn't really feel cared for. I'm probably not going to go there again. Day 7. Catch on. Catch on to.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I didn't expect baggy shirts and pants to catch on again.
My husband and I have been fighting recently. but I'm trying not to let my children catch on to our money problems.
My company is so behind the times. They still haven't caught on to all the benefits that come with working from home.
Catch on. Catch on to.
요약,
1. Sports betting is really catching on in North America. Professional athletes are banned from placing bets. For those who are caught, the punishment is severe. 2.
Dave had "I'm an idiot" written on the back of his shirt. He didn't catch on until the teacher asked him about it.
3. Why do you guys keep laughing? I can never catch on to your jokes.
My client is slow to catch on when I teach him new exercises.
Small talk. 1.
So, I told Jeff that our college has a mandatory suit and jacket policy starting on Monday.
And what happened? Did he come to class dressed up? Or did he catch on before that? 2. My husband doesn't catch on to my hints. If I want something for my birthday, I should write it down on his shopping list. Yeah, men have a lot of trouble being thoughtful. I just ask my husband outright to get me something. Or I even send him a link to the product. 3.
I've been trying really hard to remember all the menu items and the table numbers. Do you think I'm ready to handle some tables on my own yet?
Normally, it can take up to a week to train new servers. But you're catching on pretty quick. How about you work by yourself tomorrow? Cases in point.
Electric vehicles started to catch on a couple of years ago. People were more conscious of the environment, and the technology was advanced enough. However, recently, EVs are falling out of favor. There are probably some factors like concerns over battery life, limited charging infrastructure, and a high upfront cost. Electric vehicles are cheaper to run and maintain, but it takes about 5 years for EVs to pay for themselves.
Day 8. Catch up. Catch up on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I'll use the weekend to catch up on household chores. The laundry has been piling up. Have you had a chance to respond to our clients' emails yet?
Not yet. I'll catch up on them after lunch. I've been swamped all morning. Catch up. Catch up on.
요약,
1.
Maybe we could meet up for lunch sometime next week. We have a lot to catch up on.
2. I'm going to catch up on sleep this weekend. I've been feeling exhausted lately.
Instagram helps me to catch up on the latest fashion trends. How's your PhD program going?
I am really behind on the reading. It will take me weeks just to catch up. Small talk. 1. I delivered 3 babies today. What did you do at work today?
Being a doctor sounds really tough. Me? Nothing as stressful as that. I just caught up on emails.
2. Are you busy Saturday, Jim? We're having a picnic at the Han River. Would you care to join us?
Well, I was really hoping to catch up on some much-needed rest on Saturday. I think I will skip this one, but thanks for the invite.
3.
Hey, I haven't heard from you lately. Have you been keeping up with Jae-woo Kim's online lectures?
Not really. I need to catch up on them. I've been slacking off lately. Cases in point. I had been out of work for about 6 months before I finally got hired last month. During those tough times, I got behind on bills and felt so stressed. But now, with my new job, things are finally starting to look up. I felt really good catching up on bills with my first paycheck and finally getting back on track with my finances. Sitting down to pay off overdue bills yesterday, I felt grateful and relieved. It might not seem like much, but for me, it was a big deal. Day 9. Check in on versus check on.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Have you checked in on Grandma? I worry about her being home alone with a broken hip. I'm planning on stopping by her house right after work.
If you are a server at a restaurant, you need to check on diners at your tables to see if they need anything.
Could you check on the chicken I'm cooking in the oven? Check in on versus check on.
요약.
1.
Since my son has been feeling under the weather, I'm going to check in on him tomorrow and see if he needs any groceries or medicine.
It's been a while since we last spoke, so I thought I'd check in on you and see how you're doing with the new job. 2.
Why are you just standing there? Go check on your tables and see if they need drinks or anything.
My boss checks on me like 12 times a day, and it drives me crazy. I don't like being micromanaged. Small talk. 1.
You mentioned that you caught a stomach bug a few days ago, so I wanted to check in and ask how you're holding up.
Thanks for checking in on me. I've been okay. I'm still stuck in bed, but starting to get better. 2.
I need to check on the plants before we leave. I think they'll be needing water soon.
Okay, go take a look. We wouldn't want them to die while we're on our trip. 3. Have you checked on the new patient in room 303? It says on his chart that he needs to be monitored regularly. Yes, I checked on him a few minutes ago. As I understand it, we are supposed to make rounds to check up on post-op patients every 2 hours. Cases in point.
I've been a social worker here in Brownsville, New York for a few years, and I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to care for the elderly who have no other support. We need to let viewers know the challenges faced by people living on their own, with no one around them. Giving simple companionship by checking in on them makes a huge difference. Living in isolation is much more difficult than most people know.
Day 10. Check out.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
My elevator is very slow, and I live on the 15th floor. I use the time coming down to check out my appearance in the mirror and pull off any lint or cat fur.
Check out the tiny details in this painting. You can see the artist's individual brushstrokes.
We want to check out some of the famous locations from Korean media, like Squid Game and Parasite.
Check out.
요약.
1. Wow, check out what she's wearing. How can she stand being out in this weather wearing that? Were you just checking her out while holding my hand?
Hold on, I am gonna go in and check out their menu to see if they have anything good.
2. 영리단길 has so many cool places to check out. You could hang out there every weekend and never get bored.
Please check out our Instagram for the latest information on hours and special dishes.
3. Check out this watch. Is it genuine or a knockoff? 4.
The lecture was so tedious and complicated. It only took a few minutes before most of the class had mentally checked out.
5.
Samantha said she had already checked out of the relationship long before she broke up with me.
Small talk. 1.
This Marshall Stanmore speaker might better suit your needs. And even better, it's 30% off, this week only.
Yeah, that sounds like a real bargain. But I know almost nothing about speakers, so I think I need to check out other brands before I make a decision. 2.
You look down. Did anything bad happen? Can I help somehow?
Oh no, nothing unusual. I'm just feeling bad because I haven't sold even a single piece of clothing today. Customers just use the store to check out clothes before buying them online. 3.
It looks like Jackson has checked out of our meeting. Maybe he's caught up in some emails.
That's just like Jackson, always juggling multiple things at once. Should we give him a nudge? Cases in point. I have been confused for months now about my boyfriend. We've been dating for 5 years, and we haven't talked about marriage much, but lately he has been hinting at it more and more. He's a good guy, and we get along well. But when I sense a marriage talk coming, my instinct is to distance myself from him, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I've been emotionally checked out for too long, but I don't know how to bring this up with him. Day 11. Come across.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I came across a plum tree while walking home.
I came across this photo from high school while I was cleaning out a closet at my parents' place.
I came across this fortune teller while walking through the Myeongdong market. He only charges 15,000 won to predict your future. So I thought, why not?
Come across.
요약.
I came across this ad for a free session at a climbing gym on Naver. Why don't we go check it out? While you were sleeping in this morning, I went off on a walk and came across this cute little beachside cafe. Take a look on my phone. Oh, wow! Over 500 reviews, and the average score is 4.8. We'll have to try it out before we leave.
I was walking down an alley in Bukchon and I came across a tattoo artist. Her work was so unique, I ended up getting a tattoo on the spot.
Small talk. 1.
On my way here, I came across a little cookie shop near the station. It looked so cute, and I had to pick some up for us.
Oh, I think I know the place you're talking about. Did they have a big, colorful sign over the door? 2.
Have you come across anything that you want to get for the house?
Nothing has really caught my eye yet. There's so much we haven't seen yet, though. I'm keeping an eye out for a nice chair or bedside table. 3. Hey, I came across this cleaner yesterday, and it works really well on my bathroom tiles. Did you already know about it? Oh yeah, I've been using that for ages. You can get it pretty much anywhere, so I'm surprised you hadn't tried it before. Cases in point.
I came across this children's book at the bookstore last week, and I really liked its colorful cover. I thought it would be a fun story for my kids. 4 and 7 years old, so I decided to bring it home. However, we quickly found out that the story was too scary for them. The themes of a cookie prison were darker than I expected, and it kept my kids awake for several nights. While the illustrations were beautiful, the content just wasn't suitable for my little guys. I wouldn't recommend it to parents with young children looking for a light and enjoyable story.
Day 12. Come along.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I was wondering if you would like to come along to the picnic.
How are your studies coming along?
How is your book coming along?
I was lost until you came along.
I can't believe I didn't get that job. It seemed perfect for me.
Don't worry. I'm sure a better opportunity will come along before you know it. Come along.
요약.
1.
Do you mind if I come along with you to the party?
2.
How's your work coming along? Did you finish that project you were working on last week?
Yeah, pretty much, but there are a lot of bugs to work out, so I'm trying to fix them now.
Hello, Samantha. I hope your project is coming along well. I know you're busy, but if you can make it, we'd love to have you over for dinner tonight at our place.
3. I had to finally find a better paying job when my second son came along. I almost gave up and started walking, but then a stranger came along and offered to help change the tire. Small talk. 1.
How is your last semester coming along?
It's a bit stressful with finals and job hunting, but I'm trying to stay optimistic. 2. I can't believe Nick broke up with me. I didn't see it coming because we seemed so perfect for each other.
Don't worry. Someone better will come along who truly appreciates you.
3.
I don't know what else to do. No one will give me a chance, and I'm out of employment options.
Listen to me. Your job is to find a job, so stop feeling so sorry for yourself. You need to stay ready so that when an opportunity comes along, you'll be prepared to grab it. Cases in point.
Hey, Sosan, how are your English studies coming along? I bet you're practically a native speaker by now.
Hi, Professor. Actually, everyone around me speaks Korean, so I don't even feel like I'm living abroad.
Oh, I understand. I heard Houston has a big Korean community. Are you at least enjoying the change of scenery?
I don't get out much. I just study and then hang out with some of the Korean people I've met out here. I kind of feel like I'm wasting my money and time. This isn't how I expected it to be.
Maybe you should put yourself out there more to make some local friends. That shouldn't be hard for you. You're a fun person.
Thanks, Professor. I needed to hear that. I'll try. Day 13. Come around.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
The bus comes around the corner sharply, so it's best to stand back a bit.
My boyfriend never stays mad at me for long. I'm sure he'll come around this time, too.
Hey, Sarah and John broke up last week. Do you think she's going to show up here?
I don't know. But if she comes around, there is definitely going to be drama. Come around.
요약.
1.
I felt okay when I came around, but the anesthesia fully wore off about 20 minutes after that.
2. Every time summer comes around, I feel like a brand new person.
When 7 o'clock comes around, I get the urge to drink.
3. I'm sure your boss doesn't actually hate you. If you just get to the office on time, I'm sure he'll come around.
We're going to get her to come around. Don't you worry. If we offer slightly better benefits, I'm sure she'll agree to the terms.
4. Whenever our distant relatives come around, the house always feels a bit more crowded and hectic. Small talk. 1.
I am happy living in Seoul overall. There is one thing I can't get used to, though. When winter comes around, I often wish I didn't live here. It's freezing.
Seriously? You are from Hungary, aren't you? I thought Budapest was much colder than Seoul. 2.
I apologized to her, but she still seems distant. I guess I really hurt her feelings more than I realized.
Just give her some time. I'm sure she will come around. People often need space before they can forgive. 3.
I'm so excited. My housewarming party just can't come soon enough. Did I mention I also invited Sally?
Oh no! You seriously invited her? If she comes around, Jane will definitely be upset. Cases in point.
I'm truly sorry for what I said and for hurting you. I admit that I've been talking behind your back. Our friendship means a lot to me, though, and I regret saying those awful things. I understand you're upset, but I hope you can forgive me. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get your trust back. I really hope you'll come around.
Day 14. Come off versus fall off versus break off.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
The paint on the walls is starting to come off. We'll have to repaint them eventually.
One of the legs on my desk chair came off, and I need to find a screwdriver to repair it.
He put too many books on the shelf, so one fell off.
The leaves are beginning to fall off the trees. Fall is my favorite season.
During an intense thunderstorm, a heavy branch broke off and damaged our roof.
I like to break off pieces of my bacon and feed them to my dog. Come off versus fall off versus break off.
요약.
1.
Your shoe is coming off. You should retie your laces.
The labels on the bottles come off so easily in water. 2.
I warned my son not to get too close to the cliff's edge, or else he might fall off.
My wedding ring is too big now that I've lost weight. It falls off my finger all the time. I need to get it resized before I lose it. 3.
The right side view mirror broke off the car in the collision.
I broke off the combination lock to my bike with a sledgehammer because I couldn't remember my combination.
Susie and Pete broke off their engagement, and no one knows why.
Small talk. 1. Hey, Daniel, how was your weekend?
Not bad, but Saturday I bought a new bag, and the store offered to have it customized with my initials for free. Of course, I took them up on it. By Sunday, my initials had already come off. I guess you get what you pay for.
2.
We really need to move out of this house. The doorknob to the bathroom broke off again.
We can't afford a new house. Fixing a doorknob is way cheaper. 3. Brandon, you have a new pair of sunglasses on every time I see you.
I know. They're all cheap, though. I stopped buying expensive sunglasses after I lost my third pair in the lake. When I'm out on the boat, I forget I have them on top of my head, and they fall off so easily.
Cases in point.
Dating these days is so tricky. Last year, I went on 50 blind dates. It felt like a part-time job, but I was really serious about meeting the right person for me and settling down. The closest I got was with this girl named Mina. We made it to the 5th date before she broke it off with me. Her only explanation was that she needed to take care of her mother. I wish she would have broken it off before I paid for that steak dinner.
Day 15. Come off as. Come across as.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Despite his rough looks, he actually came off as gentle and caring.
I hope I didn't come off as too harsh during the meeting. I didn't mean to upset anyone.
Sometimes his jokes can come off as insensitive, even though I know he doesn't mean any harm.
Come off as. Come across as.
요약.
I like the actor, but he came off as a condescending jerk in the movie.
Did I come across as nervous during the meeting?
Not at all. You seemed confident and composed.
In interviews, it's important to come across as confident and knowledgeable.
Small talk. 1.
Does Haley really come off as arrogant to you?
Not to me, but sometimes her confidence can be mistaken for arrogance to others. 2.
I hope I didn't come off as rude in the email.
No, you were clear and professional. Don't worry about it. 3. Wow! Minsu, your English is so good now. You come across like a native speaker. What happened?
During my time in Australia, nearly all my Aussie friends were so laid back and easygoing. That made it easier for me to learn English with them.
Cases in point.
I always used to worry about making a negative impression during job interviews. I tended to overthink my answers, fearing I might appear unprepared or unsure. However, during my latest interview, I decided to trust my instincts and answer questions honestly. To my surprise, I later found out from my manager that I came off as confident and capable. They were impressed with my confidence. This experience taught me that being genuine was the key to making a positive impression.
Day 16. Come up with.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I always come up with good ideas in the shower.
I'm afraid those are all the examples I can come up with on the spot using this phrasal verb. If I think of any more later, I'll let you know.
You mean you just came up with this with ingredients you had on hand? That's amazing. Are you interested in Minsu?
Where did you come up with that idea? Why would you think that?
This is the best translation I could come up with.
Come up with.
요약.
1. I came up with the perfect title for my novel while walking my dog in the park. 2.
Students are coming up with more and more creative excuses for not doing their homework these days.
Sarah asked me if I had any nice single friends I could set her up with, but I couldn't come up with anyone.
I will pay you back as soon as I come up with the money.
I think the government messed up when they came up with this stopgap measure for the housing shortage. Small talk. 1.
When I ask him why he hasn't done his homework, he just comes up with a different excuse each time.
I'm at a loss too. He locks himself in his room as soon as he gets home. I've tried reaching out, but he doesn't seem to hear what I'm saying. 2.
Doing self-introductions is the worst part of every semester. I can never come up with anything interesting to say.
I just read an article that said you can get your best ideas in the shower. Then again, you take like 5 showers a day. Where are all your good ideas? 3.
This soup tastes good, and it settles my stomach. Did you get it at the side dish shop around the corner?
Nah, I actually came up with this recipe myself one day when I was really hungover. Cases in point. When you're stuck and can't come up with a creative solution, stepping away to do something completely unrelated could really help. Sometimes our minds need a break in order to come up with even better ideas. Enjoying a hot shower or a walk in the park would be a good way to get your creative juices flowing. Personally, when I'm stuck, I always take a hot shower or bath. Something about the warm, flowing water relaxes me, and then I suddenly come up with a great idea. Day 17. Cut off.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
I just downloaded this AI software for my Zoom meetings. It counts how many times I cut someone off. Hey, Samantha, you haven't posted anything on Instagram for a while. Are you okay?
Yeah, I've just been cut off is all. My mom won't give me my phone back until I get my grades up. My husband hates when people cut him off in the middle of traffic. That's the only time he ever swears.
After the scandal went viral, Mina cut herself off from all her social media accounts. These documents need to be reprinted. It seems like the page formatting was off because the last word in every line got cut off.
Ah, you're right. I'll adjust the formatting and print them out again right away. Cut off.
요약.
1.
My pet peeve is when people cut me off when I'm in the middle of a story.
2.
When was the last time you talked to Sam?
It's been months. I cut him off when I found out he had been talking behind my back. 3.
I'll never let Minsu give me a ride again. That guy cut off 3 people while playing Pokemon Go on his phone.
4. Why have you been cutting yourself off from us lately? We haven't heard from you in ages. 5.
While I was looking at the sales figures on Excel, I couldn't help but notice the order numbers in the left column were cut off.
Small talk. 1. I know you're excited and you want to talk, but cutting someone off while they're in the middle of talking is bad manners. You need to wait your turn.
Okay, Mom. I'll try to be more patient.
2. Oh my gosh, that guy just cut me off. How dare that jerk?
Melinda, I drive with you every day. Most of the time, you're the jerk cutting people off on the road.
3. Either you completely cut off your ex-girlfriend, or we're breaking up. I just can't handle you guys being friends anymore. It's too much for me.
Let's make a compromise. I don't want to lose my friendship with her, and I don't want to lose you either.
Cases in point.
After losing all of my money to Bitcoin, I was hopeless. I couldn't face myself, let alone my family and friends, so I cut myself off from the world. Things went on like that for around 6 months. One day, I came across this book, Silver Lining. I was walking past a bookstore and, I don't know, it just called to me. Anyway, after reading it, I finally found the strength to dig myself out of the hole I was in. I never thought a book would have the power to do that, but it was a huge life changer for me.
Day 18. Figure out. 1.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Seoul's subway system is too complex to figure out.
I finally figured out how to solve the Rubik's Cube.
I can't figure out how to multiply these fractions. Can you help me?
I keep hearing a tapping sound in my apartment, and I can't figure out where it's coming from. Figure out. 1.
요약.
1.
My mom can figure out crossword puzzles very quickly.
2. I can't seem to figure out how to work this new photocopier. 3.
I've had this backache for weeks now, and I can't figure out what's causing it. Stretching and rest don't help. I think I'll have to go see a doctor.
Small talk. 1. Are you stuck? Bring your homework over here. We can figure it out together.
Thanks, Mom. I can't seem to get the answer to this on my own.
2.
My car kept breaking down, and I couldn't figure out why. After calling my mechanic, I finally found out that my car needs an oil change.
Oh, that explains it. Just so you know, the general rule of thumb is to get an oil change every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. 3.
My trip to Tokyo was a total mess. The subway system was way too complex to figure out, so I was almost late to the airport.
I felt the same way on my last trip to Japan. On top of the complicated maps, some of the signs were only written in Japanese, which made it even more difficult. Cases in point.
When my brother showed me his exercise routine, I understood why he wasn't seeing any results. After he did some stretching with a foam roller and walked on a treadmill for just 3 minutes, he said he was going to go relax in the sauna for a while. After he left, I had to exercise on my own. The thing is, I didn't really know how to use any of the machines. They were all so complicated, but I had to try and figure things out for myself. I'm still not 100% sure I was using the equipment the right way.
Day 19. Figure out. 2.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Susie and I do want to start a family, but we need to figure out the timing. She's still on the fence about whether she should quit her job or not. I can't figure her out. I've been feeling down this week, but I can't figure out why.
Maybe it's the rainy weather we've been having.
I still can't figure out my shirt size. I'm a small in one brand, but a medium in another.
I can't quite figure out why people are so loyal to iPhones.
You figured that out right away.
I love you, but I'm not ready to get married because I haven't figured out my life yet. Figure out. 2.
요약.
1.
Can't figure out what to eat? No problem. We have every type of cuisine you might be craving.
2. I've been married for 5 years, and I can't figure out my husband. 3.
I guess the right person was there all along. It just took me until my 40s to figure it out.
4. I can't figure out why Sapporo is such a popular vacation spot. It's not all that beautiful or reasonably priced. 5. Lying to your boyfriend is risky. If he figures it out, it could ruin your relationship. Small talk. 1.
Hey, Sujin, what's up? Have you figured out where to move yet?
Not really. I'm stuck. I was considering Sochogu, but I don't think I can afford anything there. 2. Hi, Charho. I just wanted to double check. We're meeting at 7, right?
Yep. Let's meet at the restaurant at the foot of the mountain, figure out what to eat, and then start off with full bellies. There's no need to rush.
3.
You started off college studying law. What actually made you change your major and study medicine?
Well, it wasn't till my sophomore year that I figured out studying law just wasn't for me. That's when I made up my mind and switched to medicine. Cases in point.
I've been out of work for 5 months now. I can't figure out what to do next. I guess I could go to graduate school, but money has been a bit tight. So I think I'll have to find work soon. I actually got an offer from my friend who is considering setting up a business in California. He said he could use my help since I am quite fluent in English. Moving across the world seems like a big change, but maybe something like that is exactly what I need.
Day 20. Fill in for.
김재우의 영어 관찰 일기.
Jane is on maternity leave, so the boss is looking for a temp to fill in for her.
Hey, Jisoo. Could you fill in for me tomorrow? My son's having a baseball game that I don't want to miss. Fill in for.
요약.
Our pastry chef is attending a workshop abroad next week. It'll take a few morning people to fill in for her. She's really good.
It's hard to find someone to fill in for the catcher. That position is so different from the others. Small talk. 1.
I heard you're taking tomorrow off. Have you found anyone to fill in for you yet?
Yeah, Joe said he'd take over for me. When are you planning to take your vacation? 2. John, I need to ask you a huge favor. My son is sick, and I need to go check in on him. You know this project backwards and forwards. Could you fill in for me on the conference call later?
Of course. I've got your back. Just text me the details and I'll handle the call. Hope everything's okay with your son.
3.
You've seemed so busy these past few weeks. Busier than usual. What's been going on?
Well, my supervisor had a family emergency and had to leave for a few weeks. So I've had to fill in for her. It's been exhausting. Cases in point. Over the past few years, I've been managing a little cafe that I own. It opens in the afternoons only and attracts a good number of regulars. The cafe is small enough that I've managed it alone, which helps to keep my expenses down. However, not having anyone to fill in for me means I haven't been able to take a single day off. I've had to skip family gatherings and trips. Despite the extra cost, I'm seriously considering hiring a part-time helper. That way, I could finally enjoy some breaks.